Hello, my name is David. Previously, I've uploaded YouTube videos on domestic violence awareness, overcoming anxiety and stress, defeating depression, coping with grief, and suicide reality. Today, I'm going to talk to you about sleeping soundly. This is a poem I wrote on that subject. Afterwards, I'll explain what I mean by each verse. Before I go to bed, I write in my diary and do a crossword. It helps me to unwind and sleep. Does that sound absurd? Sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night is said to be vital for happiness and health. When you sleep well and very happy and healthy, who needs wealth? Don't drink alcohol or coffee or use social media before you sleep. They only keep you awake. As my mother said, to help you sleep, just try counting sheep. If you're upset or angry, write your feelings down. Otherwise, you'll have an unsettled night and wake up with a frown. Thinking of nice things before you sleep is another idea. It puts your day in true perspective with elements of cheer. When you switch off your light, switch off your brain as well. It needs revitalising to ensure that the next day you'll excel. Eating in bed together is a major cause for divorce. After all, who'd want to stay with someone when you're trying to sleep, you get covered in breadcrumbs, mayonnaise and tomato sauce? It's better to eat your meals at a table instead, and only do your sleeping on a well-made bed. Have you had any disturbing nightmares of late? Some of them not only interrupt your sleep, but can leave you in a pretty bad state. Have you had any really nice dreams? Think about them, smile, and you'll discover life isn't as bad as it seems. Those who share a bed with their partner sleep better than those who sleep alone. That might come as a surprise to those whose partner is prone to the odd snore, moan and groan. Telling and showing your partner how much you love them is a lovely way to go to sleep. If you don't have a partner, imagine you're with me. No, that might cause you nightmares. Stick to counting sheep. Before I go to bed, I write in my diary and do a crossword. It helps me to unwind and to sleep. Does that sound absurd? Sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night is said to be vital for happiness and health. But when you sleep well and are happy and healthy, who needs wealth? Writing in your diary before you go to bed is a really good idea. It puts your day in perspective. You might think, oh, not much happened today, but you could write, for example, I slept well, had an early morning work, and my working and walking weren't too bad. But one customer really annoyed me. Sunny day, my partner has a flu. Hope they get better. If you don't write in a diary, then what can happen is little issues such as one customer really annoyed me can stay in your brain, delay you getting to sleep, and can even appear in nightmares. It doesn't really matter what you write in your diary, so long as you actually do it. As for crosswords, I mean in a general sense. You could prefer word searches or Sudoku or use colouring in books, which are so popular these days. You might even prefer playing music. It is extremely important that you find some way, your own way, to unwind and relax before you go to bed. You have the freedom to express yourself and the knowledge that you don't have to impress anyone. With regards to how long you should spend sleeping, I'm a firm believer that the quality of sleep is far, far more important than the quantity of sleep. You could sleep soundly for 4 or 5 hours and wake up nice and fresh. Or you could sleep for 9 or 10 hours. But in that time there could be nightmares, tossing and turning, thoughts running through your head. To let you in on a secret, but don't tell anyone, some so-called experts love to tell you that you need 8 or 9 hours sleep. And if you don't, you have sleep deprivation or insomnia. And you should buy these products to help you. What a rip-off! If you have less than 6 or 7 hours of sleep, well, don't lose any sleep over it. Let's look at the next verse. Don't drink alcohol or caffeine or use social media before you sleep. They only keep you awake. As my mother said, to help you sleep, just try counting sheep. If you're upset or angry, write your feelings down. Otherwise, you'll have an unsettled night and wake up with a frown. Caffeine is a stimulant found in coffee. Now, the last time I drank coffee, it tasted as a pure blend of vodka and arsenic, and it sure did stimulate me to throw up. If you have to drink it, and you certainly don't, make sure you do it before lunchtime. Before the dark age of social media reared its ugly head, people did sleep better. Nowadays, some people actually take their devices to bed with them. Social media, like alcohol and caffeine, is an addiction. Many seem incapable of putting their devices down. If you're like that and you feel you have to use them, don't use them at night. Now, when it comes to counting sheep, the idea is it's a soothing, relaxing way to go to sleep. It's a way to switch off and focus on something simple. Now, if you're not that fussed on sheep, you can repeat some phrase such as relax and sleep, relax and sleep, or tomorrow I'll be fine, tomorrow I'll be fine. I'm confident that you can use your own phrases. Now, when you are upset or angry at anyone or anything, find a pen and paper and write your feelings down. Don't worry about the grammar or your language. No one else is going to read it. It's better, for example, to write, I hate you, rather than go to sleep with those strong feelings. If you restrain your feelings when you sleep or try to sleep, at some point the restraints will be removed and you could find yourself yelling or screaming in the middle of the night or having nightmares. You don't want that, do you? Do you? After you've released your feelings on paper, it's an idea to tear up the paper and throw it in the rubbish bin to prevent anyone else from reading it. That's why you write on paper, not on social media device. And it's also a way of saying, good. I was so angry at someone, I've written all the words I was thinking of saying to them. Now the paper is thrown away. I feel so much better. Soon I'll go to sleep. Now for verse 3. Thinking of nice things before you sleep is another idea. It puts your day in true perspective with elements of cheer. When you switch off your light, switch off your brain as well. It needs revitalising to ensure that the next day you'll excel. Now, there are some days in which hardly anything seems to go right. It could be you get stuck in traffic, or you go to a shop for something only to find there's a long queue, or someone wants to argue with you, or you could trip over while going upstairs. We've all had those sorts of days. When it comes to your routine before going to sleep, rather than focus on the bad things which happen during the day, it's a good idea to say 3 things you are grateful for. They can vary obviously, but include, I'm so grateful I was able to run when so many people can't even walk. I'm grateful that I have my own bed to sleep in when so many people are homeless. I'm grateful that someone asked me if I was okay when I tripped on the stairs. I'm grateful that I was able to sit down and relax with my partner when I finished work. The list is endless. By thinking of such nice things and saying them just before you go to sleep, it puts a smile on your face. You relax, and there is that feeling that, while today wasn't one of your best, some nice things did happen. And yes, having that routine does help you sleep. Now, when it comes to switching off your light, it's worthwhile thinking, I'll switch off the light and I'll switch off my brain as well. Our brains are like 5-year-old children. At times they like to learn about everything. They want to solve all the problems of the world. At times they just like to play and have fun. And of course, like all 5-year-olds, there are times when our brains need to switch off and sleep. By doing that, the next day you'll find your brain will fairly quickly say to you, I feel so much better now. What can we do today? Now, you may have heard of the expression, I'll sleep on it. It refers to when you are unsure as to what to do or have some problem to solve, you're basically saying, instead of finding the answer now or in the morning, I'll give the problem to my brain to solve during the night. And when I wake up, it'll give me the answer. But if you do that, you are being extremely cruel to your brain. Would you be cruel to a 5-year-old? I don't think so. So why should you be so cruel to your brain, which is like a 5-year-old? Your brain needs to sleep, to revitalise. So next time you find yourself saying, I'll sleep on it, stop yourself and say, no! My brain and I will have a good night's sleep, and tomorrow we'll do what needs to be done. Now let's have a look at verse 4. Eating in bed together is a major cause for divorce. After all, who'd want to stay with someone when you're trying to sleep? You get covered in breadcrumbs, mayonnaise and tomato sauce. It's better to eat your meals at a table instead, and only do your sleeping on a well-made bed. Now, when couples eat in bed, they deserve to face the consequences of their actions. One person may be gulping hot chili soup. Their partner may be eating a frozen dessert. And suddenly there's a cough, or a sneeze, or a sudden arm or leg movement. And what happens? Burns and frostbite. That's what happens. You may even have to go to hospital. And you know what they'd say? They'd say, How could you be so irresponsible, so negligent? No, I'm not going to treat you for your injuries. You need to be taught a lesson. Listen to David's advice on the YouTube video and don't ever eat in bed again. Now, I wish to stress I have nothing against food. I even like to eat it. My favourite meal is beautiful jade jam on toast and a glass of sparkling jade juice. It is truly mouth-watering. If you like, we might even have a meal together, so long as it's at a table, not in bed, okay? You may think, hey, I'm single. Can I still eat in bed? The answer is no. For instance, you may have jade jam on donuts in bed. The problem is that even if you do eat on a tray, and research shows that 83% of people who eat in bed don't use a tray, it's likely that crumbs and jam will end up in your bed. And even if you do get to sleep, what happens if you have to rush to work? Your boss could well ask, why have you got jam in your hair? You may well think, or be confused. If we don't eat in bed, where can we eat? The answer is at a table. You could find a table at a restaurant. You might even find a table at the place where you live. Preparing a meal together and eating together, seeing and hearing your partner force their food into their mouth, whether they've got their teeth in or not, is a truly romantic experience. And you're much more likely to stay together than a couple who eat in bed together. Now, when I talk about a well-made bed, this is something which children don't understand. When a parent says, no, I'm not taking you to the football till you've made your bed, children think, how can you be so cruel? You expect me to cut the timber to the right size, hammer all the nails in, paint it, buy a mattress, put all the sheets and bedspreads and pillows on top, all in 5 minutes? What children and you need to understand is how to make a bed. Now, these are the instructions. First, choose a clean mattress, not one covered in breadcrumbs, mayonnaise and tomato sauce. Place 2 sheets and a blanket on top of the bed, and next, and this is very, very important, remove all creases. Otherwise, you could wake up with half of your body on top of a mountain and the other half in the bottom of a valley. Now, finally, place the pillows on top of the bed near the front. Now, that's where head will rest, okay? Don't forget. Follow those instructions and you'll be able to make the bed all by yourself. And in fact, over time, the process will become so much easier, unless you eat in bed, in which case the process will take much, much longer, and you might even need a professional cleaner. Now, let's look at verse 5. Have you had any disturbing nightmares of late? Some of them can not only interrupt your sleep, but can leave you in a pretty bad state. Have you had any really nice dreams? Think about those. Smile, and you'll discover life isn't as bad as it seems. When we're awake, it's scary. So when we go to bed, and we have nightmares, as I said earlier, those nightmares can occur when we go to bed feeling angry or frustrated about someone or something. Rather than release that anger on paper, we put a so-called lid on those feelings, only for those feelings to explode into nightmares when we're asleep. It's an easy trap to fall into, an easy trap to avoid. Write your feelings on paper and write in your diary what happened during the day before you go to bed. When we're asleep and we feel scared or angry, we have troubles we feel as though something or someone is attacking us, but we can't do anything about it. After such a nightmare, you might like to turn your head or even get out of bed or have a glass of water or take a few deep breaths and remind yourself, okay, it's only a nightmare. So what I do, especially after a really severe nightmare, is I think, okay, I'll go back to sleep, I'll go back to the nightmare, and this time I'll attack the person who attacked me. I smile and then I get back to sleep. Nightmares don't worry me anymore. However, if there are repeated themes of nightmares, it would be for an idea to address those. For example, if you have repeated nightmares about work or a relationship, if you can't sort them out by yourself, you might need the help of a counsellor. Okay? Enough about nightmares. What about dreams? Yes, everyone dreams. It's what I do best. You might have a dream of sipping champagne on a luxury yacht on some exotic foreign location, or of climbing Mount Everest, or running a marathon, or winning a vast amount of money, or of having a romantic liaison with an almost godlike figure. But please don't look at me that way. Fantastic. Such dreams bring great joy to our lives. Dreams bring about hope. Hope that when we're going through a really tough time, who knows, some of those dreams can come true, or at least our current situation will improve. Now, there are some so-called experts, I hate that word, and or boring people who don't understand dreams. All they understand are facts. Facts are overrated. Dreams are underrated. Indulge yourself. Let your dreams dance and play when you're asleep. It'll give yourself something to look forward to. You might even say, I wonder what I'll dream about tonight. And don't be afraid to turn some dreams at night into daytime reality. Sure, for some dreams, such as walking on a tightrope over the Niagara Falls or playing with sharks, could be a little bit dangerous. But the vast majority of dreams can be turned into reality. And those who doubt that, well, they aren't worth listening to. Life may have been very cruel to you, but when you dream at night or during the day that life will be better for you, that gives you hope. As I've said in my other videos, I believe hope is the most important word in our language. And the words hope and dream are the most essential elements of our well-being. Years ago, when I was going through painful speech therapy, I had a dream I'd be able to talk. Later on, I had a dream I'd be able to speak clearly to people such as you. Further on, I had another dream in which I'd be able to do public speaking. If I didn't have those dreams, if I didn't have hope I could turn those dreams into reality, I wouldn't be doing this broadcast, and I might not even be alive. When you dream tonight, have hope that your dreams will turn into reality too. I think you can do that. Before I go on to my final verse, there are a few other comments I'd like to make about sleeping soundly. The first is that after you do exercise at night, it takes some time to calm down and lower the adrenaline to the point where you can sleep. What makes the matter worse is that after competing in a team sport, especially at night, especially when you win, is that many players drink alcohol or caffeine drinks. They keep you even more awake. If this is you, I'm not saying you shouldn't train or play at night. Do it and enjoy it. I know I do. But what I am saying is you can still enjoy playing and having the company of your teammates and at times celebrate a great victory without having to resort to alcohol or caffeine drinks. So, you've done your exercise at night. You feel on a bit of a high. Be aware that apart from drinking water, you'll need extra time to relax before going to bed. In that time, you could do mundane tasks such as cleaning a cupboard, or watching an old movie, or reading or drawing, or whatever. It's also a good idea to write in a special diary about how you trained or played. That can help you how it can help you very much. I've really needed this firsthand, is what can happen. It can help you to prevent you from reliving how you played and trained again and again and again at night when you're trying to sleep. Maybe you get your highs from going to concerts or even playing loud music. If that applies to you, use the same formula. After the experience, drink water or fruit juice. Allow yourself time to relax. Write down in your diary, and when you are ready, when you're tired, go to bed. As for sleeping tablets and all sorts of devices, such as super intelligent mattresses, which are claimed to help you sleep, I personally, as you would have gathered, don't believe in them. All you are doing is paying money. In some cases, lots of money. Yes, your money, to those people who will sleep soundly because they're taking, and in some cases, stealing your money. It's far more effective to follow the routines and suggestions I've mentioned in this video, which after all, you are paying nothing for. However, if your doctor advises you to take certain medications because of a medical condition, well, at least listen to them anyway. Now, something which I believe is vastly underrated is to make sure you look your best before you go to bed, whether you have a partner or not. Take your time cleaning your teeth. Don't just use toothpaste, use a lot of dental floss as well. And if you like, mouth freshener, especially if you have a partner. By doing that, you are looking after your dental health. You are focusing on a sleep-inducing mundane task, and you'll be even less tempted to eat in bed, which I hope you'll never ever do again. And if you have a partner, they're much more likely to kiss you than they would if you were to have pieces of food stuck between your teeth. By doing that, and things like brushing and combing your hair. And by the way, I hope you noticed I've made special attention for my hair today. You're showing pride in your appearance and helps you to go to sleep in a good state of mind before you go to bed. Now let's look at that final verse. Those who share a bed with your partner sleep better than those who sleep alone. That may come as a surprise to those whose partner is prone to the odd snore, moan and groan. Telling and showing your partner how much you love them is a lovely way to go to sleep. If you don't have a partner, imagine you're with me. No, on second thoughts, that might cause you to have nightmares. Just stick to counting sheep. Humans are social creatures. We need to spend time together, including in bed. Sure, there will be times, maybe even lots of times, when you're annoyed at what your partner says or does. And they'll be annoyed at what you say or do too. At such times, in fact at all times in a relationship, communication is the key. To let you in on another secret, marriage counsellors love it when couples say they don't talk to each other, especially in bed. Why do marriage counsellors love it? Well, if all couples were to speak together, have great fun communicating together, then actually marriage counsellors would go broke. That's why I love it. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. Actually talk and communicate rather than assume. The word assume makes an ass out of you and me. Don't forget that. When it comes to being in bed with your partner, apart from having the routine of saying 3 things you are grateful for that happened during the day, you should both make a point of focusing your full attention on your partner. This is your time, your special time. It doesn't matter what happened in politics or work or even to your children. Put those thoughts to one side and focus on your partner. Now, if you both want to make love, or as I prefer to call it, expressing love through touch, communicate and act on what you want, your desires and your needs, through what you say and what you do, so long as you respect and accept each other's boundaries at all times. Sex therapists say communication breakdown is the main reason people go to see them. The answer is relatively simple. Communicate. Now, if either you or your partner don't want to make love, it's still lovely to kiss and hug your partner, to say and show your affection, to let each other know you're there for each other. No wonder those who have a partner sleep better than those who sleep alone. Now, when I say if you don't have a partner, imagine you're with me, I don't mean that in a disrespectful sense. What I'm saying is, imagine you are sleeping with someone who you could love, someone who could love you. Maybe they do. When you sleep alone, when you have love and hope in your heart and soul, then actually you aren't alone, are you? Are you? Are you? So, how well have you been listening to this video? I've got a little quiz for you. Question 1. Which is far more important? A, quality of sleep, and B, quantity of sleep? The answer is quality of sleep. Question 2. Our brains are like A, 5-year-old children, B, 15-year-old teenagers, or C, 45-year-old adults. The answer is 5-year-old children. Question 3. This might be the hardest question you've had for some time, so don't be too hard on yourself. When I said eating in bed together is a major cause for divorce, after all, who'd want to stay with someone when you're trying to sleep you get covered in which 3 types of food? The answer is breadcrumbs, mayonnaise and tomato sauce. Question 4. What are the most essential elements of our well-being? A, love and patience. B, hope and dream. C, facts and reality. The answer is hope and dream. Question 5. Who sleeps soundly when you pay money for devices which are claimed to help you sleep? A, those who sell you the devices, or B, you? The answer is those who sell you the devices. Question 6. What happens when people communicate with their partners? A, the partnership prospers, or B, marriage counsellors and sex therapists would go broke? The answer is both. Thank you. I hope you didn't go to sleep watching this video. For more information, please see further details in the bio below. I'd love to hear from you.